Welcome to me talking about Monster Rancher 2. This game is from 1999. It came out around the same time as Digimon World 1 on PlayStation and Pokemon Yellow version. And 1998, that's when Pokemon Red and Blue and that anime really blew up. And to me, this Monster Rancher 2, this was my favorite of all three of those. Digimon World 1, a little too cryptic. Like, you totally needed a guide to do, like, anything in that game. It just... if you didn't use a guide in Digimon World 1, you had to spend a lot of time uncovering secrets, and if you tried to explore and find everything on your own, there's a good chance you really wouldn't find enough to complete the game. It's a game that you would easily get stuck in. And the way that you'd have to raise monsters, your Digimon, and then you'd try to explore with your raised Digimon, and then eventually it would die, and then you'd have to start over, and your exploration would have to come to a stop, and you'd forget where you were going to explore next. And yeah, it's a game that helped. A lot of these games really helped if you had some guides with them. A lot of these, like, PlayStation era RPGs, Final Fantasy VII, Digimon World, and this a bit. To unlock the monsters in Monster Rancher 2, it surely does help a bit if you know how to unlock them. Like, there are certain events you have to encounter or seek out to unlock them. Okay, in the last video... Okay. In the last video, I released 2 Suki Suezos from the original Monster Rancher game. Because that's what you can do. Like, any compact discs that you used to have back in the 90s, whether it was like a PlayStation game, a music CD, some old computer software, some CD-ROM, any of that, you would always get a monster from. It had something to do with however they coded the things, however they were read. There was some kind of classification ID, and these are the monsters I got. They're pretty much identical. You look at their stats. I mean, if I looked at them, their personalities might be different. Something I'll get into later. But the thing is with the Suki Suezo is, as strong as those stats look, and those stats are crazy high, they only live a week, which is kind of like a day in the way that this game works. So if you were dead broke out of money and you needed some money, you could get a Suki Suezo and go win a D-class tournament. Maybe get a 1,000 or a couple thousand gold. But other than that, they weren't very useful, other than what I'm about to do right now. And also, you see how it says main Suezo? The first one, it's kind of like the phenotype of what the monster's going to look like. It's the base of the monster. It's going to have those kind of monster moves. It's going to, on the surface, it's going to look like that. The sub is usually like the color of it, the pattern. So the main is the body, and the sub is usually the pattern of what these mixes look like. And the sub, if it's a question mark, that means it's considered a rare monster. But okay, so I just revived Suki Suezo. You get I'm gonna go under data for the monster. Yeah, he's 0 years old. Hasn't won anything, hasn't run away, he's not sick. Bunch of zeros. Likes milk. Nature worse. Dislikes battle. I think I remember that. Suki Suezos, they dislike battle. No wonder they die in 1 week. So that's all they're good for. Spit is the best Suezo move. Especially early on. You can just spam it and has very good accuracy. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it can waste time and get bide time, and you'll get those hits in. If there's like 10 seconds left in the match, and you can just spam spit 3 or 4 times, just go for it. Especially if it's, you know, it's freaking CPU. What are they gonna do? I mean, if you just mash the select button, you know, the X, A. I'm using a 360 controller. If I mash A, mash X, I can just spit in the other monster's face like for good. The rest of the match. Very good move. Man, those stats are just incredible. Go back. Freeze it again. I'm gonna combine. Costs 500 gold to combine. So I'm gonna combine both of the Suezos. Both the Suki Suezos. Do I want to use a secret seasoning? I don't have any. This one's all up to you. There's a 100% chance it's going to be a Suezo because you're not going to get the rare out of them. That rare sub, that's never going to come up. So this is the closest of what you would call breeding the Monster Rancher 2. You're combining them. This is what you want to do before your monsters die, because if they die, you get nothing out of them. If you combine them, you do get something. Alright. I like how its intelligence is higher than its power. Give the name. Column. OP. Oops. God, if there's a button to do spaces. I know I can always go down there, but I'm gonna call it OP. OP eyeball. Yes. Maybe I should have just called it Opie, like Opie eyeball. Okay. Too late. OP. So now once again, let me go to the lab. I'm gonna freeze this guy. This is very unnatural, being able to get a monster like this. Let me show you how you would usually get one. Your first one. You go to the market. It's supposed to be your first time. That's what everyone says to you. Oh, these names are terrible. Nice to meet you. Aren't we polite? Let me explain. They give away free monsters to trainers. Dude, don't never sell your monsters. What I like to do, get one. And let me get one of these Suezos just to... Dishonest and hard to raise. Actually, I didn't want to get it. I just wanted to look at its stats and then exit. If you go back to the market, it's not well trained yet. They'll just take it. Yeah, it's pretty weak. I didn't mean to get it, but just to show you the other first seasonal monsters that you can get, let's check them out again. So you got a Zum. Says it's easy to raise. There's nothing stand out about Zum, at least this early in the game. You wouldn't be able to raise it as well as you would want to. I don't know, I always go with Suezos. I just have so much experience with Suezos because of the Suki Suezo. I've had more experience with Mochis than Zum. Yeah, very strange. I look at Suezo as an intelligence monster. Mochi is more of an all-around. I guess you could say Suezo and Mochi are kind of all-around monsters. I mean, Suezo can get some power moves, but it's more of an intelligence. You want to raise it with an intelligence route. Mochi would be more power. Its power moves are better than its intelligence. Zum, I mean, I'm sure it has like some powerful intelligence moves. I know it has like some fireball move, but whenever I raise Zum, I just remember just going for power. Like whenever I did errantries, or it was just kind of hard to raise its intelligence when training it. So to try raising these, usually, if you tried raising, training its intelligence, it would be going against the grain. It would be kind of hard to do that. Let's go back to the lab. And when I enter these menus, there's going to be kind of like some glitchy, stuttering going on. But I'm just going to revive OP Eyeball. Enough talk. Let's go to the ranch. Okay, the first of the month, you gotta feed him. And since he's a baby, might as well just give him milk. They usually like that unless it's in their nature not to. Ooh, kind of reacted there. Might not like milk. Now the Suki Suezos, they didn't like milk, so you think that would carry on into the offspring, but not always. Because it's a baby, I gave it milk. I'm gonna have to check in a bit. Long time no see. Master Cabs, nice to see you. Master Cabs, are you, old man? Oh yeah, I saw you earlier in the other video. Some old retired trainer. Used to be the #1 trainer in the IMA conference. Got some mail. Alright, now the errantry things, they're kind of like going on an adventure, and they do tasks that, you know, test their skills. So it covers training in a specific category, and at the end, if you successfully get through the trials, you fight a monster, and usually when you come back after successfully doing everything, you get by then you would have a new technique, a new move. Well, let's cut it off here and go to the next one.